Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now, a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now, a little stronger now, a little stronger now, a little stronger now, a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night. Glad to see everybody coming on in. Gonna have a great show for you tonight. I got KRISTA joining me. I don't know about BRANDI, and I think Monica is in Jefferson in Texas for the conference or the fair, one of the two. Needless to say, we do have a great show. Thanks for everybody for coming in. And don't forget, if you're new here, please subscribe to Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube, The Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast on YouTube, Texas Front Porch, Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World, Donnie Cho Says Stuff, Paranormal Paul, all found on YouTube. And thank you for that. And thanks for coming in. Really briefly, I got to thank everybody for buying my books. My books are still out there, everybody. I know holidays, they're fast approaching. Type Bigfoot Michigan Rob in your Amazon browser. Leave a review, everybody. It's all analytics. Bigfoot Michigan Rob presents True Cryptid Encounters Book 2 and Book 1 available on Amazon. Thanks to everybody that bought it. I do appreciate you guys. And I just have to say thank you once again. I'm very humbled that the people that bought it out and around the world. And the Super Chat's open. It's also a great way to support the shows and what we do. Become a BMR pirate. Join today, and you get a picture of me with a bandana and extra name in the chat room. That's always cool, whether you want to or not. Totally up to you. I get it, especially with, again, the holidays are approaching. We got Halloween. We're almost done with Halloween's almost here. Another 15 days, I guess it is. And today's gonna be a little bit spooky. Came up with some cool things for you. And enough of that. I'm gonna bring up KRISTA. And she's not pulling up. There she is. Hey, KRISTA.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, it's glad to see you on the Saturday night show.
I'm glad to be back. I've been gone for a while. I've just had so much going on.
Yeah, life goes on, and that's why I'm glad I've got 2 or 3 of you guys, gals, I should say, to join me. Yeah. And the Saturday night show, for everybody, if this is your first time watching this show, we get serious and talk some strange phenomena as always, and it's kind of lighthearted too. I know we talk about a lot of things. I remember we did 40 minutes of one show before we even started talking about food. Right?
I was on that one. I remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, but people like that because it doesn't always have to be creepy and spooky when you start the show. It's about what we have going on in our lives and what we like going on. And I know a lot of people that listen, they can relate to that. It makes the shows fun.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
And speaking of fun, I got to tell you, but I was driving around the neighborhood last couple of days because I do love Halloween, and I was just taking some pictures of all the decorations. I did it during the day a while back, and you just don't get the. It's a lot better when you go out at night with the lights on a lot of these things. And I got to tell you, they do it up around my neighborhood pretty good. A lot of cool pictures. I put a couple on Facebook. I got to tell you, KRISTA, I thought that I was crazy for driving around the neighborhood getting pictures. Tex does a Wednesday morning show, I think with Paul, and I think it was this last Wednesday. And Paul had like 100 pictures that he shared with Tex.
Yeah.
In Missouri. He drives for miles.
Well, I think he goes way out at his own house and decorates to the hill too.
Okay. Yeah, his own house, and plus the things he came across.
Yeah.
In his neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods were pretty cool. I like the lights and everything that's going on.
I decorated my office at work. Does that count?
Yeah, well, send me a picture. See, we can.
I will take a picture on Monday. I actually, everybody, at work has cute little pumpkins and things like that. KRISTA has skulls.
Well, no. Well,
I'm the only one that has the creepies. I have blood. I have skulls.
Well, no, skulls is definitely. Pumpkins. Hey, well, skulls are a part of Halloween, and what I love, which started out a couple of years ago. There are people that literally have 9-foot, 10-foot skull, full-fledged skeletons on their lawn.
That's true story.
With the red lights.
I've seen them too. Yeah.
And there's some even with, you mentioned pumpkins. There's actually even some with the creepy pumpkin heads on them. And I've seen what's the Grim Reaper. And Paul shared a really cool one of a werewolf, which was like 9 foot tall. Now, the person that bought that and put that on their yard, I must say they spent bucks on that one. Probably. That was no $100. I'm going to tell you right now.
Probably not. No. I like Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. Although this year I'm really slack. I've just been busy. So at home, I haven't put anything up. But like I said, at work, my office is decorated in skulls.
Well, that's pretty cool, though. I would like that. Send me a picture. I'd like to see your little work.
I will. And everybody gives me a hard time because everybody has them cute little pumpkins or little scarecrows. Nope, I got the morbid stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the scarecrow, really, is that okay? Years ago, the scarecrow, not scary. Now, with some of these certain movies, right. There's a movie called Scarecrow, and it's like, it says, not your average scarecrow. It's like a demonically possessed, murderous monster. Yeah. Yeah. But I got to tell you, I don't know. You haven't been on in a while, but we covered a little bit of this on Saturday nights with BRANDI and Monica. Your favorite, for me, my go-to for Halloween, even though I've seen it 1,000 times, is the original Halloween.
Oh, that's the best.
Michael Myers. I love that one.
Me too.
And then Freddy Krueger. And then the first two, maybe the first three, with Jason. Not Jason. Yeah, it's Jason.
Jason, Friday 13th.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. Once it hit Jason Attacks Outer Space.
Yeah.
Jason, parties in Manhattan.
Yeah, I remember that one. And Jason versus Freddy. Do you remember that one?
I never seen it.
Yeah.
But I heard it was pretty good. Am I wrong? Or was it okay?
I guess it was okay 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, 20. In the 80s is when all these came out.
But now I honestly like the originals of all those movies,
I do. I like the first one of every one of those is always, those are classics.
Yep, they are classics. You know what movie, though, I will say that I do like, and it's an 80s movie, and it was kind of creepy, and that's The Lost Boys, the vampire movie.
I like that one.
I do too. I've always liked that movie. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. In fact, that's one I'd like to see.
I have to watch that again.
I'd like to see that again because I'll be honest with you, it's been at least a minimum of 10 years.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Since I've seen it, you know.
Me too.
The original Halloween I see once a year. You know what's but you know what stinks about that movie though? It's summertime, springtime. It seems like they play that movie all the time it's on. And I never watch it during the off season when it's not Halloween.
Yeah.
But they play it over and over again, much like an unrelated movie, The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fantastic movie, but how many times do they put that on TV?
That's on. You can go put it on right now. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I know you can find it. Now that is a great movie. That's one of my favorite movies.
It is a very good movie.
But sometimes, like Jaws is another one. How many times? I mean, I don't want to end up hating movies that I love because I can't just watch them month in and month out.
Well, see, I haven't seen a lot of those movies in years, so I need to actually. You know what? We get off of here. I am going to go lay down in bed and I'm going to turn on one of those movies because.
Yeah, I'll surf the web and find. I usually do that at night when I'm done with the show. Well, Saturday nights I typically always do because usually after a show I can't fall right asleep anyway.
Nope.
But then I end up falling asleep and I wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning. The TV's still on.
Yep. Oh, I keep TV on all night, all the time. Because I wake up and then I'll have something to watch, you know. But, you know, me and Brandy, we're kind of morbid, though, because, you know, when we travel together, we always bunk together and stuff. And we have to have TV on, you know, like to go to bed. But we always put on Killing, the ID channel, or Forensic Files. We always watch Killing.
Oh, yeah. No, I watch those. No, well, yeah. Well, I'm right up there with you guys. I'd be joining you because I love the Forensic Files. Now, that's science.
Yeah. Well, we laugh about it because it's like, okay, so we need Killing to go to sleep, and it puts us right to sleep.
Yeah, you know, you can't put you to sleep. And then you end up getting the nightmare. And there's another one, too, which is kind of along the same lines. It slips my mind right now, but it's a documentary type series as well. Forgot the name of it. Where again, it's a bunch of detectives that are searching for murderers. Yeah. I forget the name of it. That's pretty cool too. Yeah. Here I say it's pretty cool talking about murder, but yeah, that's where the weird sadistic mind comes into play.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just really for me, it's more about what makes people do this. What's the psychology behind these crazy people?
Right. It's true.
You know, it's terrible. I get it. But at the same time, it's a little bit
people out there, you know.
There's so many out there.
Yeah.
You know, you could do a whole show on the sick people in your state alone. All you have to do is turn on the news. And in 1 week's time, you could probably get enough material to do a month-long show. You could.
Yeah.
Which at that I'm not fond of. I would never do that because I don't really talk about that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
A lot of true crime. People like true crime.
Yeah.
Mindhunter was great, JoJo. Mindhunter on Netflix. That's FBI. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Mindhunter, one of my favorites. And that's
I like the new detectives too, what Rosie says. Yeah. A lot of good ones. Or if I don't watch that, then I have ghost stuff on or like Bigfoot or something.
Yeah, I'll put on a lot of Bigfoot. I'll put on a lot of things like that or cryptid related. And
me too.
JoJo again says something. I do this a lot too, whether I'm on YouTube or even on Netflix. I will sit there and not realize, let's say I'm on Netflix. We'll use that as a prime example, considering I pay for Netflix. I will sit there. Let's say it's after this show. Let's say 1 o'clock in the morning. I decide to turn on Netflix. Do you know? And I get mad, and I don't even realize this. I will spend an hour surfing Netflix to find something before I even turn anything on.
I'm with you. Because do you read what movies are about and stuff?
I do. No, I do read all that.
Me too. Yep.
And then if I turn on a Netflix film and they're not speaking in English,
Right. Yep.
I
No.
don't do
Yeah.
the closed caption.
Yeah. And you know what? As weird as this is, like, I like the ID and, forensic files, but I don't like TV shows that have like mobsters and stuff. I'm not into like movies like that with the mob or.
I used to love those, but now I'm done with those. I'd much prefer to watch like a documentary on like, a couple of the known mobsters, modern day mobsters, which I'm talking like the John Gotti one. That's always a cool one.
Yeah, see, I can't get into those. I'm not into the mob.
I like because I'm not into the mob, but it's just kind of lifelike, and what I like behind those is the efforts that like the FBI put into trying to bust them. The strategy. For me, it's more of the strategy behind finding the killer, the mobster, or in some cases, the monster, right?
Right.
And quite frankly, the mob is full of monsters. Human beings are monsters when it comes down to that.
True. That's true. I got to tell you something I heard, and this is on a lighter note, and this is a total change of subject. But today I was talking to my daughter-in-law's mom, and she was talking about a comedian that she follows on YouTube. And she started, and I can't remember the gal's name, but she was like, if like our age, our generation, and talking about parents getting old and passing away and things like that. They said, if you, the lady, she said, just know, I'm not lying to you. Just know if you come across VHS tapes, no matter what they say, if they say family vacation, it's not family vacation. Like, she's like, I'm telling you, if you don't want that imprinted into your mind, don't watch the VHS tapes.
Yes.
Made me laugh because I was like, oh my God, it's probably so true.
The Christmas 1994 Christmas Vacation.
It's probably not that.
And it's recorded, with our old camcorder.
Right.
And you have the family over for Christmas, and you decide to pop it in without looking at it for the past 20 years because it's been recorded over. Then all of a sudden, something comes up that embarrasses the crap out of you.
Yeah. Yep. But it was just funny the way she was telling it. And she said it's this comedian lady that she follows. And yeah, I'm like, man, that is so true because you never know what was on the VHS tapes. Never. And especially, like if you have parents that,
and hey, and I remember myself, Chris, so when I couldn't really afford it back then, but remember when the Sony camcorder came out right in conjunction with the VHS player, and everyone's a filmmaker.
Yeah. I remember they were really big.
Big, bulky, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to put it on your shoulder, some of them. Then they came up with the handy cam.
Yep.
We've all experimented with those.
Yeah.
I bet you everybody that's our age in the chat room had one.
Oh, yeah.
Or used one.
I know. Yep.
But
anyway, I didn't mean to change subject, but I just thought that.
No, I mean, that's fun. This is, of course, a Saturday night. We're lighthearted on Saturday night, but I got to tell you, though, I was reading something yesterday that kind of gave me an idea for today. In fact, I did a little video yesterday or today. I forget. We're all on so often, I forget. And I see JoJo from Australia is in the house. She'll be interested in hearing this. Well, everybody will, but this is something that I was reading that has taken place and what they're attempting to do in Australia, out in Melbourne. So there was a group of scientists that are into DNA splicing and genetics, right? So there's an actual museum in Melbourne, Australia, that had in the museum a head, a literal head of the Tasmanian tiger, which is also known in the cryptid world as the thylacine. Okay. And it's been there for centuries, I guess, according to what I was reading. And it was stored in ethanol. And I guess the head, I guess I saw a picture of it. It's
Mhm.
really gross looking. It's just like it looks like it's been sitting around for centuries. And this group of scientists were able to get with the museum and ask if they could do research on it. And they were looking for DNA, right? Because this firm in Australia is into genetic manipulation, and their goal is to bring back extinct predators from the past. And in this case, being from Australia, the Tasmanian tiger was the predominant predator of Australia, which went extinct in 1936.
So basically, they're trying to do a real life Jurassic Park.
Yeah, cloning, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And as it turns out, too, they've dumped $250 million into this project. And also, they have gotten the aid. You know how the Americans like to get their hand in everything?
Mm-hmm.
There's a firm out of Texas that has joined up with these guys and gals from Australia. And so they were pleased to find DNA in this skull. And they also came across something that I never heard of called RNL. Not DNA, but RNL, which is a molecule that it does not preserve well. It's usually washed away or erodes after like less than a week, which is a key when it comes to sequencing DNA if you're going to manipulate something, right? Well, they found traces of it in this head. And they were like, this is a miracle because it's been sitting here for a century at this old museum.
Wow.
And they found this RNL molecule. They found DNA. So they've been working on making a new thylacine. They've been working on this for a long time. And right now they've sequenced all of the codes, all the genetic codes, Chris. Now they've got them all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ready for an actual trying to process this. In fact, they are going to create embryos and they're going to put it in a wolf-like specimen, because I guess some of the DNA in the thylacine of the Tasmanian tiger is gray and red wolf makes up a part of the DNA. So what they want to do is create an embryo and implant it in one of these wolves and have the wolf carry it and see what
What's
they
the
come
point?
out with.
Why?
They want to bring the goal of this entire operation is to bring back the woolly mammoth, bring back the dodo. I don't know what a dodo is. It sounds like a bird.
So why do we need a woolly mammoth? I mean, what's like the point? What can they offer us?
For me,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm cool with just an elephant myself.
That's me too. That's what I'm thinking. Like, we got
how science is. Well, I to me, it's almost like some of these very smart people, they want to play God. Yeah. And I don't like throwing out the word God because I don't like saying that on shows and talking because there's so many different avenues people can go with this, right? But yeah, they want to be creators. There's one creator in my mind, and that's God, right? I believe in God. Right. But they want to create and they want to bring it back to life. And they think that they're getting close to it. Much like we came up and cloned the first, what was it? Did we clone a pig and a sheep? But we've already done
Dolly
that.
Or something, Dolly or Daisy or something. I think it was a sheep, wasn't it? Dolly or Daisy?
It might have been. Because I think science is cloning pig hearts because the pig, believe it or not, is one of have the closest a physical or a biological specimen to a human being. It's like a pig's heart. So they're trying to reproduce these for human beings to further our lives in the event of heart disease, which, again, it's just so far out. But that's their goal. They want to bring back, kind of like Jurassic Park, to be honest with you, KRISTA. So they're getting close. And then they were saying, which I found to be very scary, though. At the end of this article I was reading, they go on and say this. Well, we don't know exactly what we're going to create here. We know it's not going to be 100% the thylacine or the Tasmanian tiger, but we think it'll be close, but we'll never be able to duplicate it. And again, they say, we don't know what type of unknown species we'll be creating.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, the thylacine was a ravaging predator. It's a predator out in Australia that ravaged people's homes, tore up and ate their crops, killed their animals, killed their sheep, killed their livestock. It was just like a nuisance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And now they want to bring this back?
Yeah, I don't understand. Somebody said here, let me look here. P. Jean says, when I said why, she said that it would fill a niche that has been empty since the mammoth went extinct in Siberia. But
fill a niche? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's cool and all, but I tell you what, man, I don't want to go in. I would never visit a real Jurassic Park, would you?
No, hell no. I have no desire, because they're not, to me, they're not, they're man-made. They're
reanimated. They're not natural.
Exactly.
DNA and molecules are, for lack of a better word, alive, and there's life in them. But every molecule, there's molecules floating around our heads right now.
Right.
But their energy, they're neurons more so than heart beating souls.
Right. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Do you think animals? Let's not say animals. Not say your cat. Not say our dogs. Going back to the dinosaur times, I never looked this up. I just thought of this just now when we're talking about souls real quickly. Do you think dinosaurs had souls?
I do.
You think every living creature has a soul of some sort, no matter what you believe in?
I do. Yeah.
So my question then would be this. Let's say that we reanimate and create something from DNA splicing. What we make, is that going to be soulless?
I believe it would have a soul.
Okay.
I do. Oh, the same thing was with like in vitro. People who, do the in vitro fertilization, those babies have souls.
Well, no, you're talking about a man donating to a sperm bank and inseminating in a woman. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Well, I think a sperm of the man
that's still kind of, they're made in a lab,
Yeah, I guess, but that's a human being. I guess my thing is this. I'm thinking well, that's a good question. So my question I was going to ask is kind of going to be kind of messed up now. But I was thinking, though, if we're creating, let's say we recreated the Tasmanian tiger, to me, it's something that is man-made. And to me, I think God is the only one that gives you a soul. Now, the in vitro fertilization, I think that person will have a soul because it's coming from, at least from, let's say, my DNA, right?
Right.
But if you have to recreate this, and again with this splicing, they are just coming up with they're experimenting with other different compounds and molecules to make this from black matter or dense dead matter.
Yeah.
See, hence reanimation, which is basically bringing a corpse to life.
Well, somebody made a comment in chat. I don't remember who it was a while back, but said something about Frankenstein's or zombies type,
Well, Frankenstein, man, talking about Halloween, Frankenstein created by corpses, Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't see a point to bring back these extinct animals. To me, I feel like they're extinct for a reason. So like they went extinct so something new can come. Does that make sense?
I think it makes sense.
So like the mammoths went away and now we have the elephants, or
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason. That's what it's called, the process of natural selection we're screwing with.
Yeah.
There's a reason why decades and centuries go by with all these different things that are brought into the world naturally, not made by man. Man can make buildings and houses use our technology for the internet.
Mhm.
I get it, but not to create something or bring back something. There's a reason why the dinosaurs are not here.
Right. Exactly. And
There's
I'm
a
glad they're
reason
not
why.
here, honestly.
I am
You
too.
know?
I mean, no, I mean, yeah, there's a reason why the Tasmanian tiger is no longer here.
Right. Yeah, they're playing with something they shouldn't play with. That's just my opinion.
I think it's bad voodoo. I'm not
And
going to say voodoo, but it's, you get my point.
juju. Yeah.
Bad juju. Hey, Jackie. Hello to everybody coming on in. Wendy, Scott, Jojo, Jackie, bunch of others. Jason Finch. Hey, Jason.
Lots of people.
Amy. A lot of people in here.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying a blanket hello to all. Thanks for coming in.
Yes. Just not right. It's not right in my book. That
I don't think it's right either.
They're extinct for a reason, and I believe it, I hate to say it, use the cliche of out with the old and with the new, but that's kind of how I feel about it,
I think so too. And
Mhm.
again, a lot of these scientists, they don't have the belief system we do. Now, I can't speak for 100% of the science community. I'm talking about scientists. They go to
Mhm.
college, university to become scientists.
Yeah.
The vast majority have no belief system. They don't believe in God, right?
Right.
So for them to do this, it's not a big deal. They're cold to it.
True. Yeah.
And that's why, most scientists are kind of whack.
Well, what do you think about, okay, it's kind of on the same lines.
Yeah.
Like, didn't Walt Disney freeze himself to come back?
I heard he did.
I don't know if it's true or not, but you've heard that. So what about people who do that? Like, to me, we all have a birthday and we all have a death day, and God knows that. You know what I'm saying? So are you planning?
Yeah. Oh my God, Chris, I thought about that the other day. Because believe it or not, yes, I do say prayers at night. And I brought that up talking to God. Hey, I said, hey, God, Jesus, I know you know when my death day is, but I got to ask you something. And then I went on to ask him something, so he knows when I asked him. I don't know if he'll respond, but
Yeah.
Rosie Green, really quick. How do you feel about crazy mad scientists who mess with human DNA? Yeah, I think that's crazy. But hey, it's so crazy too, KRISTA, because I was talking about science and creating hearts, cloning hearts with pigs with DNA of human beings, maybe save a human's life with a heart.
Right.
I mean, I think the world today is so, well, not us, but I'm talking about like science. I think they're so bent out of shape on living forever.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't want to die. I'm not so sure I want to be living for 1,000 years unless I'm a vampire.
And I don't want to be a vampire.
And I don't want to be a vampire.
Yep. You know what? Also, Scott makes a good point here. They're also creating chimeras.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes, thank you, Scott. I was reading that earlier today as well. They're even creating fish that they're putting into the fish stream here in Michigan and all over the world.
Why can't they just let nature take its course? That's how I see it.
Because man is, man is really arrogant. And whatever's going to make billions of dollars, that's the number one objective.
Yeah. Yeah. There was another comment here. PG makes a good comment here. So what about the animals that were hunted to extinction by humans? That's a good point. Got a good point there.
No, I tell you what, that's a great point, PG. I mean, now I will say this, funny she mentions that, and I can't talk on it because I wasn't there in 1936 or in the 1800s, but the human being did in fact hunt the Tasmanian tiger / thylacine. We human beings, we extracted them. Okay, because they were such a nuisance to people that had farms and raising cattle that they could not, they were just depleting their inventory of crops and mammals, cows, pigs, etc. So people were losing money. They were starving because of these rodents. It kind of reminds me of a rat. I've got no problem if we eradicated every rat in the world.
Yeah.
But then again, if we did, that might cause an eco problem, because I guess rats, in a strange way, do serve some purpose. Everything on this, every creature out there serves a purpose.
Yes. Although I can't figure out why ticks and fleas have a purpose.
I don't know what their purpose is. Their purpose is to irritate us.
Yeah, I don't know what
bug us and prevent us from going into the woods, maybe.
Or a mosquito. Like, what's the purpose of a mosquito?
Well, the mosquito, it's a crazy insect which carries disease and kills people.
So
in some instances, there's no purpose for that.
Right.
Yeah. But I guess there's a purpose for everything, though. Even there's positive and negatives. Certainly, the extreme negative is death, and the other positive is advancements in science, advancements in healthcare. But bottom line is arrogance and people just want to make billions of dollars. And Keith says, I'm just trying to remember what Keith said. It's either a friend or relative of Keith's had a heart valve from a pig put into it, which, well, you know what? I tell you what, that's cool. I'm all for preserving life, especially
human life.
I'm all for it. But it's just weird, and I'm sure that wasn't a clone. I think we actually used it. We maybe enhanced it. But just to make something from scratch, KRISTA, some from scratch.
Yeah.
Something that you can't see, feel, or taste, and you put it in a petri dish and you grow it from a petri dish. Yep. That is weird. That's wild.
I agree. Well, Lisa Smith says people want to play God and leave God's work to him. Amen.
Yeah, that's what we had mentioned earlier, Lisa. Absolutely. These guys, they want to play God.
Yeah.
Scientists are godless. They don't believe in God for the most part.
So do you think, okay, I'm just putting this out there. So do you think like some of these hybrid animals, like you breed, you can't have, in captivity, you can't breed like a pair of Siberian tigers. You have to breed a Siberian and a Bengal, or like, to get a mule, is a horse and a donkey. So do you think like that was like the start, and then like working their way into other things? You know what I'm saying? Like start with the hybrids, and then okay, so this worked. Let's see if this works.
Yeah, well,
like a tiger and a lion, a liger.
I think so. Animal. I think what happened was, I think that's a great question, because I think science didn't think of this decades ago, centuries ago. Yeah. I think that when natural animals got together and created a different breed, they're like, like a dog and a cat can't, as far as I know, can't mate.
Right. Well, and here's the thing too. Like, okay, so you breed, and I know this from experience, you breed a zebra and a horse, you get a zorse, right? Well, that animal, a zebra, they're not very friendly. Like they're still wild. They're a wild animal. So even though it's got that horse in them, they still have that wild from the zebra. So like crossbreeding these animals, they could be making up something that's like crazy nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're wild. They're supposed to be wild.
They are. Yeah, it does make absolute sense to me. And oh boy, I was thinking of something, then it kind of slipped my mind, but there's certain things that are not meant to breed at all, get together, right?
Right.
Like human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If you are not related and have totally different bloodlines, yes. Mm-hmm. But we know about some people that brother and sister, there's a reason why if they have a kid, 99% of the time if something goes wrong,
right. Mm-hmm.
That's not a normal baby.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I mean, and I don't mean to offend anybody that's out there knows people in the family that have interbred.
Right.
I don't agree, of course, but it's just that's not natural.
No.
And what's the other animal? The mule. Isn't the mule can only produce with a mule?
Nope.
What were you telling me about horses?
Nope. A mule cannot produce at all. Not
Oh,
at all.
they can't do nothing.
Nope.
So how do they?
Horse and a donkey to get a mule. Now, you have a Molly mule, which is a girl mule. Like she'll still come in season, but she can't breed.
Oh,
true story.
That's interesting. What's up with the mule? Poor guy.
I really don't know why mules can't.
Don't you think that's weird though? That
it is weird.
Everything should be able to procreate, right?
Yeah. Yep.
If it's alive.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why.
Just like you were on the show, we talked about asexual reproduction with worms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of snails. And my dad grossed me out when I was a little kid. He watered the back lawn. And
Amy just said Molly had a foal recently. I did not know that. That's interesting.
Molly, okay.
Which is a mule she's talking of.
A Molly and a foal are two.
Molly is a female mule, and then a foal is like a newborn baby, like horse or.
Oh, foal is the baby word for.
Yes, for a horse or mule or.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Mr. Anderson, super rare. Interesting. Really quickly, Mr. Anderson says both us and Neanderthals were hybrids, and both species coexisted for a short time. Maybe they live on Elmis in the Russian mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, well, again, to his point, we did, have relations and produce with the Neanderthals at one point.
So there you go. That's a hybrid then if they breed.
Yeah. So technically,
offspring.
So really technically you could call us a hybrid human.
Yeah, maybe so.
Or are we aliens from the future? I don't know.
I've heard that too.
I've certainly heard. You've heard it on this show before and other shows, yes.
Yep. But
we're not talking about hybrid humans from aliens or from the future. But that was a great topic. Always a great topic. But I think it goes on, and I think it's bottom line. Getting back to wrap this all together with this, I don't know about you, but I think it's dangerous. I really do.
I do too. And you know what? Here's the thing too. So the way our 3-letter entities are, I guarantee you, I bet they've already done this. It's just
you know what?
That
is such a great segue into the story that I'm going to tell everybody about this. You read my mind, KRISTA. That's why I missed you. I'm glad, though. You're there for me on Tuesday nights. You can always catch me and KRISTA Tuesday night at 9 o'clock for Beyond BMR. So, whoops. I did something here. I don't know what I did, KRISTA. Can you see me? Here we are. Okay. I just want to, I'm going to pull up something here. Okay, yeah. So that was a great leadway into keeping the topic the same. And I got this an email to me. I've had this for a couple of years, you guys, and it's very kind of controversial. Don't know if I believe it or not. I tend to believe most of the emails I get, as you all know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, well, I will tell you this. I think that we do create dogmen in laboratories.
Yeah.
What quick take on that? Do you believe we do that, KRISTA?
I do.
Just one part of it. There's many species.
Yeah. I mean, I believe there's some out in the wild that reproduce.
I think there's some in the wild. Yes, I think there's some in the wild, flesh and blood. I think some are supernatural. And I do, unfortunately, have to say that I think some are come from an evil source as well. I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they all apply, and I think they are also are man-made. Now, so I'm going to tell this story that I got about a person that claims to have been a scientist that kind of worked in a department, a so-called ABC agency that actually worked on this.
Wow.
And they go on to tell me, hey, Rob, my name is John. Oh, and goes on to say, by the way, I'll say at the end of the story because he had to leave a lot of these. He had to leave a lot out because he
Mhm.
did not want to be found out.
I bet
More
not.
importantly, he didn't want a member of his family to be found out because it was put to him that they would eliminate such persons.
He's pretty brave coming forward with it.
Yes, and everything that I put together for this, he was very nondescript, but at the same time, kind of descript.
Well,
Anyway, he goes, my name's John, and he had an incredibly terrifying account. He worked, as he says, for an off-grid contracting company for the government, okay?
Mhm.
He says his work did not last very long. And he can say this, that we do create militant creatures for a variety of purposes. He goes on to saying his mind is mostly nefarious and extremely deadly ramifications have followed up with all of this.
Mhm.
So he gives me a little background. He says he first started his career getting degrees in molecular science. Thanks, Lolo. And DNA studies. Then he joined the Army and worked for 20 years in exploratory research.
Mhm.
He says again, I'm not giving you the exact name of the department. It's all classified. But he did say this. The last 5 years, he worked and was stationed at a DUM, also
Mhm.
known as Deep Underground Military Base.
Right.
Again, not giving no location. He says it was in the desert in the United States, however. So for the email, he says he's just going to focus on what he did the last 5 years on his contracted job in the DUM with the military. And he said he's going to leave it at that because he's got reams and reams of information. So he says that this laboratory was set up in layers. In his department, he worked with the manipulation of molecular cells and gene splicing. He was given an assignment, and he was allotted a set of data points, which he was supposed to figure out and research.
Mhm.
When he completed the work, that was sent on to another layer in the department. So every department worked on something, KRISTA, and went up the chain of command. The layers were all put on top of each other and stacked to come up with their completed project. He said it's kind of reminded him of like the Bob Lazar story, you know,
Mhm.
at Area 51, where Bob Lazar was working on just one section of the alleged UFO craft, right? And then when he got done, that was passed on somewhere else. Again, he said he did this for 5 years, and he started to wonder what the hell he was doing because, unlike in his department, he did not have access to any other department, which he found odd. And the only people that he communicated with were the people in his department and his one boss. And he just started getting a bad feeling about this entire what he was doing, right?
Right.
So out of the blue, he was forced to retire with a full pension. And he was reminded of all the work that he did was top secret. And he received more than a generous amount of retirement pay from this job, as long as he kept his silence about the work. And he's like, well, dude, all I was doing is splicing of these, genes, right? DNA cells.
Hmm.
Then he says it wasn't until about 3 years later where he was contacted by, again, an undisclosed ABC party that wanted to meet with him and talk about another assignment that had to do with the protection of national security. So this is the line that they're now laying on this guy, right?
Wow.
Says at first he thought it was to test. He said he thought it was like a military effort because it's with the military again. Again, don't disclose his work. A month later, he agrees to have a meeting. So he says he's picked up at his house and he's taken to a military base. He was blindfolded, by the way. Meets up with some officials. And a lot of these officials were some of the same people that he worked on his prior job working in the DUMS.
Wow.
And he assured that this is all real stuff that they want him to do. And again, they offered him a generous salary. And he said he was highly recommended on his previous work. He felt apprehensive, but you know what? Being a scientist, he takes the job. And he had a location. He was assigned to another location. And the location he was at, he was blindfolded once again. And when he got there, he felt it was underground, and that's where this guy lived. Never got out and saw the real world.
So he had to stay there all the time for 5 years.
And he goes, yes. And he went on to say that they had all the conveniences of modern day life. There was restaurants in this underground base. There was a movie theater. There was bars and restaurants. There was everything that you wanted, but it was all underground. Now, I was asking this guy, geez, what type of life? What about your family and friends? Well, as it turned out, everybody that worked here, KRISTA, they weren't married, or their wife passed, or the husband passed, no kids. So they really were alone in the world, these scientist types, right? So they had a specific agenda of who they wanted to collect for this, which that makes sense. You're not going to get me to do that, right?
Right.
And the facility, again, was bigger than he anticipated, this, that, and the other, like a big, living in a superdome, a mall with everything in it. So, unlike the last shop, he was allowed to walk throughout the entire establishment and all the labs, because they wanted to make the man, or show the man, what he was working on. And what he witnessed, man, he says, was both terrifying and fascinating all at the same time. He found these tanks. Well, he didn't find. He had access to them, all the departments. There were these tanks that were filled with a form of a liquid base. And they were all lined up with mutations of humanoid-looking figures. And none of them seemed to be natural at all. He says, being a scientist, I was filled with all these positive and negative emotions. So...
Interesting.
So, yeah, he gets to the head department, and he's asking this guy, his boss or whomever, what's this all about? And he asked what role was he supposed to play in this with the company. And he was told that many of these mutations that they've been engineering genetically, they were creating creatures, KRISTA. They were designed to, this is the line of crap he gave them. They were designed to decrease the amount of deer and other animals that are overpopulating designated areas of our forests.
Wow, we've heard that one before.
Have we not heard that before? So he says, well, being a scientist and all this, he immediately asks the guy, why interrupt the balance of the process of natural selection? And you and I were just talking about that just today, about what we talked about earlier. And he went on to say, look, I'm a scientist and all, but Mother Nature is not one to be manipulated with. So, right, everything in the wild is there for a reason. So a lot of things he agrees with what we said today.
Yeah.
So he asked, what is the real reason behind all this? Finally, some other higher up was listening to the conversation and says, look, John, whatever his name was, I'll be honest with you. The creatures have gotten out of control, and humans have gone missing. They've been killed. They're part of the 411. Animals of the forest have been savagely killed, and not eaten, just maniacally killed for no other reason. And they said that they started experimenting with some mind control, if you can believe this now, with these monsters. And they thought that they could control them. They had like a computer chip in their brain to control where they would do and go. And they just, and that didn't work out, I guess.
Well, I've heard people talk about, like, making dogmen into super soldiers. Supposedly, dogmen fought in Vietnam.
Well, yes, I've heard that. And so this guy is like, computer chips, mind control. Yeah, KRISTA, what you said is correct. I've heard of that too. And now this guy is telling me the story. I got this story a couple years ago, and I'm like, I can't. And I've talked to the guy in email a couple times, and he always uses a different. I haven't talked to him in a long time, But every
Yeah.
time I would get an email, it was always be in my spam folder under a weird name. But I would just click it on just by
Yeah.
chance. There was always this guy. And so he was involved with creating humanoids with the intent to kill, the intent again to control a deer, which I think was to control humans, to be honest. I think they're super soldiers. And also on top of this, mind control, experimenting with technology where they thought they could control these created beasts with technology implants, computer chips in their heads. I mean, come on.
So that's like a robot then to me.
Yeah. What's well, growing something. Now, this is like something without a soul. They're making these, creating humanoid
I
beasts.
wouldn't have a soul. I wouldn't think.
They're creating humanoid monsters.
Right.
And now they're trying to control them with technology.
Yeah.
A robotic creature. Good point. I mean, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Just like they're trying to put baby chips in.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that, brother. Hey, you've heard stories about them trying to put chips in little babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're putting them in dogs now so you can find them. Not in their brain, in their paw or their body somewhere.
Right.
It's a cool idea. That's cool. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But
I don't think they belong to humans.
No, hell no, not humans. I don't want no chip in me. I mean.
But you know what? You don't even need a chip, BMR, because
you got your phone. Yeah, you got your phone. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
They know everything they need to know about you just by your phone. Because who doesn't have their phone on them 24/7? Most people.
We all do. As much as I hate to say I don't, it's always within 5 feet of me.
Mine too.
Now, right today, frankly, right now, I will say that it's not.
Yeah.
But it's, I know I try not to have my phone on me during the show because if it rings, I don't want people to hear it.
Well, see, I have my chat. I have the show on my phone.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. I don't need it for mine. I usually have my phone on me, like if I'm on your show, because I can't chat unless I'm on my phone. But yeah. So,
Ben T is right. Ben T says smart people don't have a smartphone. You're probably right.
Yeah, well, that's probably the smartest comment I've heard all night. And I got to tell you, though, we talked earlier about playing God. That if you don't tell me that ain't playing God, I don't even know what. It's more like playing Dr. Frankenstein.
Yep. You talked about like that they were using it for like to control deer population.
Yeah.
So this has been a little bit, and I hate to bring up the LBL. However,
well, that's fine.
However, there was a time, and I want to say it's been within the last year that they closed down a certain section of it due to hog eradication.
Oh, really?
Was it really for hogs, or something happened? I don't know.
Hogs is a good. Well, hogs is a good excuse because I think like Texas, I think they have a program to eradicate hogs, Arkansas, but no, not the LBL. I mean,
well, that's the thing,
how
like
many times have you seen a hog in the LBL?
Well, my thing is like maybe like some of these people that's missing at some of these national parks, and including at the LBL, maybe these creatures are in like these underground bases and they let them out to feed.
As gross as that sounds, that we could do that, I think it goes on. I mean, I think it goes on. Sad to say this, I think that it goes on. And what you said is just so morbid that a human being, a representative of the United States or the world, would release. It's like a movie. It's like a sci-fi movie, releasing a creature that we made to feed. So we're going to feed off human beings. Yeah. We're going to set you free where people are camping and make you go down in one of David Paulides' books.
Exactly. Hence the 411. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, I'm not going to say a lot of Paulides fans out there.
Yeah.
But man, it makes you wonder. And it's kind of revolting that does happen. I think it happens. I think you're looking, it happens. I believe it does happen.
I do too.
And I believe I talked to this the other day with a bunch of people. Half the things we see in the movies we think is make believe, and with all rights and purposes, it probably is. But they got these ideas from somewhere.
Somewhere, that's right. Absolutely.
Just like I always say, fiction and folklore. Well, folklore ain't exactly fiction, y'all.
Right. Exactly. I agree. I'm just saying that I don't know. There's a lot more out there that I think we know about, but they're just not admitting. We know all this stuff is true.
And
We know they have these things, these creatures, and they've created some of them.
Yeah, yep.
So with them coming out saying that they're, gonna, recreate the mammoth, well, that's not a surprising thing to me.
No, I've heard about that for some time.
Mm-hmm.
And but again, back to the very original point, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I must say, this guy just sent me this.
Population.
Well, I believe that. Well, I think we all believe that.
Because think about it. Okay, so they can't turn loose a bunch of T-Rex or a bunch of old dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying? Because the big ones that wouldn't eat you, they'll kill you just by stepping on you. And T-Rex, you couldn't walk. You couldn't go anywhere because whatever. So they got to come up with something. I agree with JoJo here. She says CERN is more of a concern. I agree.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's crazy, Joe. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I do, because that's just a whole nother spectrum.
Yeah, we can do a whole show on CERN.
That is just that's some horrifying stuff.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is horrifying, but CERN's another level. Can you imagine combining CERN with these scientists creating these other things and combining all the?
Who's to say they haven't already?
They probably have. I don't want to say yes to everything, but they probably have.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, I think I think we already know the truth there, but they just haven't admitted to it. And that's in everything from these cryptid creatures to aliens,
Yeah, I mean,
about Area 51. Hell yeah, I do. I guarantee you they're breeding aliens there. And yeah.
It's just like when you talk to some of these scientists, well, the public, when we hear these, especially they don't talk about this cryptid stuff on the news, but they always have the UFO debate or discussion on one of the national, the Navy gets together, the Air Force scientists, they talk about the existence of UFOs, and they sidestep every question, and you just know damn well that everybody in there knows that they're not telling the truth. Right. It's almost a waste of time because they look like a bunch of idiots spewing out stuff that the average ufologist knows or person that follows UFOs knows already. It's not new information. Yeah.
Wendy says artificial intelligence is right up there with CERN. We have to be concerned about. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. In fact, it's something good to. I think I'm going to start looking into CERN a little more than I do because. I tell you what, that is some scary stuff.
It really is. We could do a whole show on that. That's a whole other show.
Yeah, we could. It's actually probably JoJo's right. It's probably more. If I was JoJo said that, it's probably more scary than us creating stuff in the labs. It probably is.
Absolutely. I believe CERN can do anything. Like they already have.
Including listening in on this.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
The government's doing that.
Yeah.
I heard that somebody was telling me that every podcaster, don't care what platform it is, if you talk about cryptids, the paranormal, politics, everybody, including me and you, just two little people, nobodies, there's a tap into us somewhere where people know who we are.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And that's a lot of money to be spending to watch or monitor me or you.
Mhm.
We're nobodies.
Yeah. I watched a thing, and this has been like when COVID happened, and it was about what our world's coming to, about chipping people and knowing everything about us and, about getting the shot and, what, like supposedly there was something in with the shot or something so they could track us and,
I remember that. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah. And I heard that, and like you said, 90% of Americans have a smartphone,
Yep.
and we're tracked
Yep.
with
Oh yeah.
just
Everything you need to they need to know about you have on there. Your bank accounts. Think
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Our whole
Your
entire
interest, your likes, because
our,
you Google things and
our entire bank system could be crushed
yeah.
with a
Well,
with a flip of a lever. Well, not a
think
lever,
about this.
press of a
They're
button.
going to a lot of places are going to cashless. You have to have a card, and that is BS. Like, okay,
Yeah, I don't like
went
that.
to Indianapolis, and I sent her with cash. Well, the stadium and stuff where she went to, they didn't accept cash. They don't.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So, yeah. So, I
I,
mean, because they want to control everything. So, like these people who do, like, say, side jobs, in any profession, they do a side job and they get paid cash. Well, that's where it all comes into play. Where
yeah. Well,
cash, you can't cheat on taxes for their
yeah.
money,
And
and,
and if people cheat on their taxes, good for you. And
yeah.
really, I say that, and I mean that because what do they do with our money other than blow it on useless programs?
And you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I've got a couple bank accounts and I've got a couple debit cards. However, I always carry cash on me.
I
Always.
always carry cash.
Yep.
In
Me
fact,
too.
I prefer not to have a card on me because of fraud, because it's easy. Do you know that you can put your, if you want to take, and I will take cash out of the bank versus going to a cash machine. Now, do I go to a cash machine? Yeah.
Right.
But, there's so many ways that they can, these crooks, they, if you happen to be the unlucky one and you're in line to use the cash machine, you put your card in, they have a reader. These guys have these readers they slide in there. They can pull off all your information, pull off all your PIN number, and rip you off.
Mhm.
I know somebody that happened to.
Mhm.
Well, not a friend of mine, a friend of a friend told me the story. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So
Yeah.
anyway, long story short, I don't even like carrying that on me. I don't even like having. I don't use my phone to pay with. Do you?
Sometimes I
See, I
shouldn't.
never. I
Yeah.
don't have that set
Mhm.
up. I don't have that set
Mhm.
up.
Yeah. And well, my thing is, with the cash, like, as we know, internet goes down all the time. And without the internet, they can't take your card, say you need
Yeah,
gas or,
yeah. No, I like having cash in my pocket.
Yeah. Jackie says don't fall for Bitcoin either. I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the rage. People made millions of dollars for about 6 months. Now
Yeah.
it's just a joke.
Yeah. So I'm saying they got us right where they want us, and we're all playing
Well,
into their hands. Every
we
one of
are
us.
going to be a cashless society.
Yeah.
There's a reason why there's now in Michigan, anyways. There's three different. There's one magnetic strip, and there's two of those sensors, or not a. What's the square? What's that thing called again? With all the dots, it's a square that you can just scan to get information off of. I forgot the name.
Oh, the barcodes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
my license has two barcodes and a scanner and a
Mhm.
scanning strip on it.
Yeah.
Now the one is not used for anything, but they're doing that because we are going to have a cashless society, and if you don't have, and it's all going to go through your driver's license, your social security number, or an ID card.
Yeah. Amy's got it. QR codes. That's it.
Thank you. Yes, the QR code. I got that on the back of my license. A QR code.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Mine's got that too.
I asked the drivers, Department of driving or whatever. What's this for? Is this something that
I'll
they're
tell you
going
why.
to be using?
So my cell phone is through AT&T.
Yeah.
And anytime I go into AT&T to talk to them about my bill or upgrade, get a new phone, they always want to see my driver's license and they scan the back of it.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. So all the companies are falling into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're all falling into line and
And to set us up to be like without on a cashless society, we are 100%
going to be
on the government.
Oh yeah, no, we are.
We are.
The only thing you can probably invest in is get gold, store gold. That will always. But other than that, and I'm not going to go out there and have a grand of gold buried in my basement.
Yeah. You know, Josh Turner, though, he's talked about investing in gold
and silver.
Yeah.
Investing is cool. I have nothing against that because that's always going to be worth money. Paper money might not, it's going to be, you got paper money. You might as well have monopoly money. That's what it's going to be like probably in a decade, I bet you.
Yeah.
I just love a crisp $100 bill. You know, so cool looking. I just like the smell of money. But
well, don't get too used to it because it's going to be going away.
It's going to be going away. I know.
And that's the thing too. Even just simple things, you got to think like, you know, when I was a kid, like, you know, you would earn money to go out and, you know, mow someone's grass or watch someone's kid, you know, so like you were learning, you know, about money and how to make money. Yeah. So to me, it's like it can also teach lessons, you know, and
that's a great point because when my mom or dad gave me a $5 as a kid for doing whatever chore, you realize this is what I need to buy stuff, right? And that's instilled at an early age. What about these kids that are born into the world that'll never see a dollar bill? It's just gonna be a piece of plastic. Or maybe it's going to be just on their ID card.
It's not that far off, BMR.
You know, they're not going to know what the value of money is. Other than maybe, this piece of plastic, I need this. Versus the $100 bill is worth a lot, you know?
Right. So I'm saying it's not that far off, you know?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it.
Me either. So it all goes back to, and I know, like, you know, about making the monsters through the DNA splicing and stuff. It all goes back, like, how they're controlling just literally everything. Literally everything. Even our cars. Think about our cars now. You know, the electric cars, like, they're controlling everything.
I don't like the idea of the electric car. First of all, they suck. You can't go very far. And check this out. They already put them into America, United States, and there's no charging stations anywhere that I know of. Anywhere. You know how many people I know that ran out of power in their car and did not, in their middle of nowhere with no charging station?
Yeah.
How many lawsuits are going to come up with that one if somebody gets you know, injured or worse? Huh.
Yep.
Totally nonsense. Gasoline, baby. Gasoline.
I agree.
The environment is not getting any better. Nope. Considering we're the ones that screw it up anyway.
Ruining it. Yeah. True story. I mean, literally, like everything, they control it all. So, on a side note, real quick about the electric cars, you know, I read where they put out an electric Mustang. That can't be fast.
Huh?
That can't be fast.
It can't be. No, I heard that, and I haven't seen one on the road.
I haven't either, but I've heard it.
And I've seen since I live right in Mustang world, you know, by Fords. They've got another electric car that they call not the Mustang, but it's got a cool name to it. And I gotta tell you, it's god awful. It looks like a mini station wagon, but yet there's a muscle car name associated with it as an electric car.
Of course there is.
It's god ugly.
Wow.
I'm not into the electric car thing.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Government can shut you off your car too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yep.
You know, we live in a free world, do we really?
Nope. Look how much it's changed in just like the last 30 years. Look 30 years ago where we were and look at us today. Would you ever have thought that you would walk around and see people wearing masks over their face 30 years ago?
No.
No way.
Just Halloween time. Just at Halloween.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. you know?
The things we see today, I never would have thought this.
Yeah.
I told you this story many times, though. I did picture this. The only thing that I pictured for the future did come true was about when I would always talk on the phone, as high schoolers, you got to sit by your rotary dial phone and wait to get a call to see where everyone's hanging out.
Yeah.
I always thought that we should make the invention, I didn't say smartphone, but have a handheld phone where you could immediately find your friends. We all carry them. And then I said, it'd be cool if we could see each other's face. I thought that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now that came true, but
Mhm.
but that's not really far fetched.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of stuff that we see today, which is totally far fetched. I mean,
it's true. It's not.
but it's scary, man. I tell you what, it's scary.
Yeah. Yep. I just, my granddaughter turns 2 on Monday, and I just think another 30 years, how different life's going to be for her than it is right now. Just another 30 years.
One of my favorite listen to this one. This is going to probably for your granddaughter. This is probably going to shape up, if not prior. When I was a kid, one of my favorite cartoons was the Jetsons.
I like the Jetsons.
Tooling around in the little mini UFO that they
Elroy and stuff.
Yeah, those are cool. I said, man, that'd be cool to fly around in. As a kid, I'm thinking that'd be cool to take that and drive it over my friend's house.
Yep.
Well, damn, you know what? That's going to happen. Yeah. I believe that is going to happen.
Yep.
Maybe not in our lifetime. Maybe your granddaughter's.
Yeah.
Well, we're flying around everybody instead of driving around.
Yeah. And maybe even living on a different planet too by then.
Yeah, or they just or our planet don't even look like our planet anymore.
Right.
You ever see Star Wars? You ever watch any of those? Especially the newer ones, how the cities are like up in the air with like the newer ones. Oh my God. I can see us having a Star Wars type environment here on the planet Earth.
Yeah. I could too. I'm telling you, it's coming.
And I do see the planet being ruled by one new world order as well. There's not going to be 2 parties. There's not going to be an election. There is going to be an incumbent that's going to take over. It's going to be somebody we never know, we don't know about, we've never heard about, in some far, far away land who's worth trillions of dollars that runs the entire, not country, but world.
Yeah.
That's going to happen too. I believe that. It's going to happen. It's starting now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be around for it or not. Because you think, I'm 52, 53, so that'll make me what, like, in my 80s. So
yeah, I mean,
around long after that. So.
I don't think I'll make it to 100.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Me either. Yeah, although my dad's getting pretty old. He's 85. My grandma was 89. So
well, my mom is gonna be 80 in January. Now my dad died at 72, but my dad just I'm not getting in that. He just got unfortunate screwed up with some stuff. But however though, on my dad's side his sisters or cousins, whatever, they've all lived well past their 80s into their 90s. So there's longevity on my dad's side. And my mom's mom, she died at 62 of brain cancer. So
my dad's mom, she died. I think she was right at 60. She had a stroke. And then my grandfather, he was quite a bit older though than her. I think he was like 20 years older than her. And when he died, he was in his early 80s. I got a lot of longevity too on my family. Which is a good thing, I guess, but nobody's made it to 100 though.
Yeah.
Although I have an uncle though, he is 97.
Wow.
Yeah, so he might make it.
if I ever hit 97, it'd be cool. But here's the thing about that. I'd want to be able to converse, you
Mm-hmm.
know, use the facilities on my own,
Me too.
understand,
Yep. Be
not
in my
have that
mind.
dementia roll in. I'd want to
Yeah.
be like I am right now,
Yep. And
with
he
my
is.
mind, with
Yeah.
my
My
mind.
uncle is. Yeah.
You know,
That's yeah, exactly. I agree. That's he's outlived 2 wives and 1 child, Just yeah. But back in the day too, you got to think, okay, so that goes back to I've been seeing people talking in chat about like growing your own vegetables and growing your own food where we didn't have all that added additives into our processed foods. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
maybe that's why we both have people who live a long time in our
Well,
life.
and
But now our generation, that's when the processed food really started. So who knows? Make
well,
it.
excuse me. Yeah, you and I had this talk about. I think it was you about all the processed the chicken.
Mhm.
Like my nephew. Okay, he's
Yeah.
6 foot tall. Well, I'm not 6 foot. My brother's not 6 foot. My dad wasn't 6 foot. Um, but this kid is like a wildebeest.
Yeah.
It's not that doesn't come from our genes. I think the processed foods that the kids eat at a young age,
Hmm.
chickens, the beef, whatever they're eating,
Yep.
it's got because all their food, chickens, poultry, beef,
Yeah.
cattle, it's boom, syringe, boom, enhancing it. And we're eating that.
Yep.
And the kids that are very young that eat that, take that in, it becomes part of them, right?
Yeah. Today I was talking to my daughter-in-law's mom again about this, but she said that she read where like heart disease now is they're saying it's being caused by sugars where it was always fatty foods,
Yeah.
but it's more they're finding that it's by sugar, and think about like all these kids and look what they're pumping into them.
Yeah. A lot of people, yes, growth hormones. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
you look at for those who follow sports, you look at these. If you look at the average football player in the 1970s,
Hmm.
there's very few that were 6 foot tall, 250 pounds. They were considered,
Wow.
and now they're over 6 foot, 300
Mhm.
pounds, and they run 22 miles an hour.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, a human being, a man.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
that's
it's not.
crazy.
Yeah, it
You
is.
just never know. Well, it's kind of weird. I'm short. I'm only 5'2".
Yeah.
My ex-husband is 5'9", but my son, and he is his dad, but I do have some tall people on my side, but my son is 6'2". Go figure.
Yeah,
Just
I
weird.
don't,
Weird how stuff,
it is weird.
how it works. But like point being is you were talking about you like the growth hormones and stuff in the foods, and who knows that could have contributed to his height.
I think he probably did. Plus he's built nicely. I mean, he don't work. I mean, he works out, but
Mhm.
he's just he's thicker. He's just
Yeah.
athletic naturally, without
Mhm.
working at it too much. And that's with a lot of kids. Again, like I said about these pro athletes today,
Yeah.
22-year-old kids that are like specimens.
Mhm.
Physical specimens.
That's right, Andrew. Andrew says fun sized. There you go.
Yeah, fun size. Yeah, yeah. Some people are the miniatures. You get the
Yeah.
miniatures in the bags.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
and
funny.
it'll be interesting to see. Hey, do you think I know we're getting up closing it down here, but do you think there'll be a day where the human being? Let's not even talk about AI. That's a whole different concept.
Mhm.
But do you think that human beings in the future are going to be humans like you and I, but we're going to have like the crazy machinery built into us? You know, like maybe our right leg is maybe just nothing but robotics, but covered
Maybe.
with flesh and you can't tell. Or maybe do
Possibly.
you think that our
I mean,
brains
just saying, people get like knee replacements. So there you go.
Yeah, do you think that even crazier? Do you think that if we don't even have a cell phone in the future, that if I want to call you, I just go to my mind because I already have it's programmed, and I just say, Krista Tweedy, call, and it calls in
Yeah.
my head and answers in your head.
Yeah.
I know it's far out there, but
It's not really that far out there, though, if you think about it.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's possible. And who's to say they don't already have that?
Who's to say they don't? But you'd have to manage that because every time you think you're calling someone, so that'd have to be refined. But I'll bet you there's an area that you can go to that's programmed in your mind. Now,
Yeah.
is that artificial intelligence? That's what we're probably talking about. But who knows? Who really knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's just crazy stuff.
I know it's weird. Now I got another idea to look into something for later down the road.
Yeah.
And I will say this in closing for today: artificial intelligence, scary stuff, you guys. Scary stuff out there.
This just went by really fast. I got to tell you, like,
It does. Well, yeah.
on here for an hour and a half.
Oh, I know. A lot of fun. It's always a fun show Saturday night. BMR, my dad was 6'3" by 14. The tallest in my family was 6'5".
Wow.
Yeah. You know.
Wow.
By the way, Andrew, thank you for the awesome super chat. Thanks, Lola, for being a pirate member for 5 months. That's awesome for you guys to do that. If you're new, subscribe to Bigfoot Mystery Rob on YouTube. The Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast on YouTube, and Texas Front Porch found on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Monica out there, Donnie Cho, and Paranormal Paul. So yeah, that's cool.
There's a bunch of us, and I do believe Paranormal Roundtable. They're doing some shows every now and then
they're
too.
starting to go check out Josh PRT if he's maybe getting back in the groove. I know he was.
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think he's kind of hit this. Yeah, I know he hadn't been feeling good and stuff. So
and they moved and all that. So yeah, we'll see. That'd be awesome. But
they're working their way back, I think.
Yeah, awesome. And today is now it's officially for me Sunday. Probably you too. You're not doing nothing Sunday. You're back on. You guys are on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
BRANDI and the guys are on Wednesday.
And then you and BRANDI Thursday. Mm-hmm. So everybody, we don't put out our schedules. At least there's so many of us. So here's what I suggest. If you like our shows, of course, subscribe. You guys make sure you turn on the alert bell. The alert bell. Yep. You won't miss a show. It'll beep on your phone, your computer, and boom. It just lets you know we're here and ready to roll. It's not that annoying. Just, it goes away. Just do that. Because I know that 9% across the board have it turned on because we can check these things. It's all AI these days. I know 9% of you only have your bells turned on. Isn't that crazy? We get those analytics.
Yeah. Just like when the show's going, like we see how many people are in chat, but we can also see how many people are watching it.
Yeah, we can do that too.
It's like it's showing 58 people right now in chat, but I guarantee you that if you click over, I guarantee you're probably at 250 watching.
I will do it right now. Are you there?
Yeah. I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that right now. So just like right now, currently 58 people. Some people dropped off because they know we're closing out, but 58 people in the chat room.
But you got over 200.
Oh shit! Yeah, we got right now. There's 225 people watching.
Yeah. So to those 225 people,
please
hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to be in the chat, but hit the thumbs up. Everybody, that's also important. Like. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. It does help the algorithm. Yep. I'd like to hit 5,000 subs by Thanksgiving, which, that's like pulling hair these days because, who knows? That'd be cool.
Coming up.
It's coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up right after Halloween. Well, you know what? In the stores, they already have Christmas stuff out. Halloween stuff is already marked down and gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving stuff is gone. Now it's all Christmas stuff starting to flow.
They're putting trees and stuff out. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
Did we ever decide if we're doing our meeting tomorrow night?
At 8 o'clock. I'll be available. I'll be home at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Yeah, well, we should.
Yeah.
Either
Just let
Sunday.
everybody know.
Thank you, Scott. That's awesome. Thank you, Scott.
We have StreamYard that we go through when we stream all shows. And I personally pay Blondes and Booze pays $100 a month for our StreamYard.
Yeah.
However, they tried to charge me $300. So the whole porch crew, BMR, myself.
Yeah, we're all experiencing.
We're all looking into another streaming platform. So if anybody has any ideas of what you guys use or something you like, our problem is we need where we can have more than one admin, which means more than one people can have access to the shows.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem that we're having. So anybody has any ideas, shoot them to us. We're all ears.
Yeah, we got popped pretty hard because everything's going up. I know everybody's pinching their money.
Yeah.
To go from 50 or $100 to 300 is just
that's not right.
Highway robbery.
Last month was $100. This month it was $300.
Yeah. So if people ask, the super chats, which we love, and when you guys do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the money I make on super chat from the donations, I throw right into the channel for cable and all that.
BRANDI and I do too. Yeah,
which is appreciative, of course, and that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
And
$100
comes out of the chat. And now with these increases, it's like more money going toward that. Which, well, we're going to do it because we like doing this. But man, there's going to be a point where it's going to be like, you know what, time out here.
Yep. So if anybody has any ideas, if you use something personally and you like it, shoot it over to us. We're all ears. We're having a meeting tomorrow night about it. So
yes, quality streaming platforms that are relatively inexpensive. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, thanks Scott's Life, thanks Andrew, thanks to everybody for coming on, and thanks for the people that are not in chat watching. Time goes by and we're having fun, KRISTA. This is a great show.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm. It was a fun show.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back as always. And we'll have the whole crew probably together here in another couple weeks. All four of us will be fun.
Mm-hmm. Next week, I'll be at the Ray County Museum.
Yes, that's right. And we'll be doing this. That'll be on Saturday?
Huh?
So we'll be doing this show. Is that going to be next Saturday?
Yep, a week from tonight.
So next Saturday, everybody, we're going to do, I forgot. We'll be doing this show as always Saturday at midnight, but we're going to be doing a live investigation on YouTube on this channel with KRISTA and BRANDI too, or just KRISTA?
BRANDI will be there. Paranormal Paul will be there. And our buddy Greg O'Coles is flying in. Mm-hmm.
So awesome. So next Saturday at midnight, then I'll probably have Monica with me and you guys will be, we'll do that live. From Ray County. That'll be awesome. I'm excited for that already.
Me too.
Okay, thanks everybody for coming in. Have a great rest of your weekend. For KRISTA, I'm Rob, BMR. Until next time.
See y'all.
Bye.
Are you ready?